news is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon, Spa, Nail and Barbershops, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Tissely Cross, Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies and sports. Bringing the issues of gender-based violence to the streets of the Virgin Islands, students from a number of schools and not-profit organizations circled the heart of Central Tortola in an awareness march. They started and ended at the Noel Lloyd Positive Action Movement Park, being made aware and spreading the word. Back at the park, international influencer out of Barbados, Ronald King, made a plug, one that speaks to the inclusion of sex education in schools from the early grades.
When on average at least 1 in 3 women is beaten, coerced into sex, and otherwise abused in the course of her lifetime, it paints a grim picture of the reality of what women and girls have experienced and what they will continue to experience unless society takes a stand in realizing its role in ending gender-based violence. In an attempt to magnify the reality of the young girls who are now growing into the bodies that they have been warned about protecting from the time that they have been old enough to understand what a good and bad touch is. A recent survey revealed that in 9 Caribbean countries, 48% of adolescent girls' sexual initiation was forced or somewhat forced. What this highlights is that there is a need to be a complete overhaul of the way we view sex in the Caribbean. Greater support is needed for the lobby to implement comprehensive sexual education in the schools and places of learning. One that teaches consent culture, is inclusive, and is not influenced by institutions with differing agendas. I say this because it does a grave injustice to the boys, girls, and gender non-conforming youth in the British Virgin Islands to only teach abstinence in schools. I assure you that by doing this, we are not shielding or protecting adolescents. We are instead making them easier prey for predators.
She was not the only one that made specific calls. Officer of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, Mr. Kendall Bob, spoke to gender-based violence meted out to men. That came after males Anderson Tittle made an apology.
Let me start by saying we apologize. Honestly, on behalf of every man, every boy, every doctor that I've ever offended you, every teacher, every pastor, every deacon, every single man that have crossed the line somewhere along the line, we apologize on behalf of our men. Because not too many of us have the nerve and the guts to say we are sorry when we are sorry.
And every day I come across victims who have somewhat or somewhere been affected, whether by in the family or outside of the family. Intimate violence among partners, violence of children being sexually assaulted, molested by their loved ones, by family members, those that they love. And they are crying out for help. And I'm so happy, as I said, we are here to help those that have been affected, especially our children. What I will also like to say, when I look around, I'm not seeing enough males around. I want you to understand that males are also victims of gender-based violence, not just females, because I deal with those males on a daily basis, males who have been molested either by an uncle or someone within the family. So we ought to come together and have a balance where that is concerned to support our males, because too many times the police being criticized that we are not showing any balance when it comes to dealing with gender-based violence. So males are not just perpetrators, they are also victims of domestic violence and also other forms of gender-based violence.
And while that came from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force and Mail, the NPOs had calls too, voiced by Sophia Rubain.
To call apart from 311, we want to create a separate line. So we need to get together and see how we can make that happen as well. We want to be able to train police, create a specialty section for domestic violence, gender-based violence. We want to be able to create a special section just for that and train the police for that as well. We want to also have resources available at the schools for safe spaces to educate, support, so they can feel safe to come and speak to, whether it's a teacher, guidance counselor. We want to create that safe space within the schools. We want to stop the silence. And this march is definitely one of the ways that we're showing the abusers, the person committing these crimes against women, that we mean business and we're not going to sit back and watch it happen.
Founder and director of WIN BVI, Alicia Green, had 10 points, of which one.
So, the first one is to speak up. What's the first one? Thank you. Don't be afraid. We heard that today. We heard that in the march. Share your experiences with someone you trust or report incidents to authorities. Don't be afraid.
The day did not end without the direct voices of girls. Girls Up spoke up.
I am Kimi.
I am Skylar.
And I am Kimia. And together we are Female Girl Up.
Girl Up Cedar School.
And Girl Up ESHS. The acronym FEMALE demotes fostering, empowering, and mentoring anointing leaders everywhere. I believe this really captures who we are, what we do, and the change we wish to impact.
We are not only ambassadors for our groups, but more so ambassadors for all females. Too often, we are made to believe that we are meek, we are weak, and our voices do not matter. But of course, we disagree. While we are gentle and nurturing girls and women, we are also fierce and strong, and that is absolutely amazing.
As a female, I have faced many challenges and have also seen my peers, both boys and girls, struggle. Sadly, one of these challenges we face is gender-based violence. This is reflected in an imbalance of power and is carried out with the intention to humiliate and even hurt a person.
Gender-based violence affects women disproportionately and undermines the person's self-worth and self-esteem. This is very problematic and distressing in our communities.
Gender-based violence has severe impacts not only on physical health but also mental health. We all play a vital role as a community and a territory to educate our people, empower our youth, and to break the cycle of suffering in silence.
You may be surprised to hear this, but when I first joined the female group, I was shy and in my own bubble. I was not expressive and did not feel the need to share my voice, but she taught me how to embrace my unique self regardless of who is watching. She taught me that my voices matter, that my voice is powerful.
So today, we raise our voices as we march to spread awareness. But most of all, we raise our voices to empower our girls and our boys who stand with us. Together, we are strong. Together, we are loud. Together, we will be heard.
We thank you for standing in support with us, with each female and male here today.
Let's
do our part to stop gender-based violence.
With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.